Cryptocurrency. Oh, isn't that the buzziest of all the buzzwords? Hearing the name alone makes it sound like cash used by zombies or mummies.
He did the monster mash.
But rest assured, it's not monster money at all. It's just a novel form of currency that has slowly crept its way into the outskirts of mainstream society. Now, the difference between crypto and traditional money, or fiat currency as we'll call it, is that most money is managed by a government or a central bank. That's why every country has their own currency. The US has the American dollar, Japan has the Japanese yen, China has the yuan, Canada has the moose quarter. Canadian dollar? So there's no moose quarters?
No!
Gotcha. Okay. I gotta be honest though, that really seems like a lost opportunity. The world could use some moose quarter.
Moose quarter, it should be Canada's favorite coin.
Point is, every country manages their own currency, but crypto is not managed by a government or a central bank. It's managed by the people who own crypto. So you can kind of think of it like the people's money or the internet's money, or some people would call it just imaginary money. But whatever you call it, that is what makes it different. It's not unique to a country, it's unique to a community of users in cyberspace. So let's get right down to it. What is cryptocurrency? Is it real money? How does it work? And will you get rich from it? Because let's be honest, that's why you're here, isn't it? Oh, silly, impatient investor.
Cryptocurrency.
What is it?
A cryptocurrency, or crypto, as all the cool kids say, is a digital-based currency which basically means that it is money that only exists in cyberspace. Cryptocurrencies rely on a technology called blockchain, which is decentralized. And what that means is that there's no single entity in charge of it. In other words, there's no bank that you visit maintaining it, unlike most other funds. There is no bank, there is no formal management. It's decentralized, as in there is no center, there is no bank to go visit. Instead, that technology that they use, the blockchain, well, that is basically a record of transactions. And in its own way, that is what's used to manage the currency. Every time a crypto is used or sold or traded, that transaction is not monitored by a bank or some sort of central source. It's monitored by all the other users and all the other owners of the crypto. The crypto is monitored by what's called a ledger. Now, the ledger is kind of like a notebook or an online document. And basically, it lists every transaction made with the crypto. Every time somebody sends crypto to another person, for whatever reason, usually a purchase of some kind, it's then added to the ledger. The ledger makes up the blockchain. So let's say Bob Loves Cookies 69 sends 3 Bitcoin to Shaba the Shaman 666 to buy a book of cat spells for who knows what reason. Well, that transaction would then be added to the ledger. The ledger is then protected with strong cryptography to ensure its security. Now, cryptography is just a fancy word for coding. Cryptography basically encodes the transaction. It translates them into a code that no one else can understand, just because it's so special. And that ensures that the transaction isn't hacked. It isn't messed with. Nobody's stealing money from the transaction. It's like sending currency in an armored truck that nobody can break into, only that armored truck is cryptography. Or, perhaps more precisely, it's kind of like 2 middle school students sending messages back and forth. Julie is sending messages to Kim. She's telling Kim how cute she thinks Joey is. But she can't write that she thinks Joey's cute because what if the teacher finds the note? Or even worse, what if Joey finds the note? We can't have that. So she's writing in a completely made up coded language that only Julie and Kim can understand. Their own little form of hieroglyphics, just communicating back and forth between each other, like two little Zodiac killers. Well, that's essentially how cryptocurrency is transmitted as well. So, for the most part, you shouldn't have to worry that somebody's going to tap in or hack your transaction, because normally it should be encoded strong enough to avoid that sort of thing. Just as long as there are businesses that accept it as a currency, people can use it that way. Most businesses do not yet, but more and more of them are accepting crypto as a payment, which continues to validate crypto as a legitimate currency. Although it should be noted that there are a wide variety of cryptos to choose from. I mean, lots and lots. So even though there is an increasing number of merchants that accept crypto, many of them tend to only accept a couple of variations of them. Or some of them just accept one or two, quite often Bitcoin and maybe Ethereum. So if you invest in crypto, there's basically two things you have to monitor. Number one, you want cryptocurrency to continue to gain popularity within society so it could become more mainstream. And then two, you want to make sure that the crypto that you're investing in is one of the ones that is becoming more mainstream, because the more utility it has and the more users it has, the more value that it's likely to have. Its value, much like everything else in this world, is determined by supply and demand. When it comes to supply and demand of crypto, in order for the demand to increase, people have to believe in it as a currency. The more people that believe in it, the more value it is likely to take on.